Okay, so welcome everybody. Tonight we're doing something different. Our podcast is we're going to give you information differently today. All right. Welcome. I hope you guys are doing awesome. I want to start off first regarding our master class this past Saturday. It was amazing. If you missed it, man, we had awesome speakers on there talking about nutrition, exercising, food. I said that with nutrition, mindset. That was a huge one, was mindset. And that's kind of the reason why we chose the topic we chose, which is knowing your why. So before I go on, Lamel, could you tell our audience how they can receive the replay, to purchase the replay?
Sure. Basically, you want to go on to www.combatprofessional. That's all one word, COMBATprofessional.com/thank the minus sign or hyphen, either whichever
you forgot to spell back.
Okay, let me do it again. It's the combat professional /thank you, and it's spelled COMBACKPROFESSIONAL.com back or /thank a slash or a minus sign you. So that's combat.
Go ahead, sorry.
Combatprofessional.com / or /thank /you. The minus sign thank minus sign you. That's how you can get I know it's a long URL, but hey.
I'm gonna put the link in the description below. But the masterclass was awesome. And like I stated before, the reason why we chose the topic Know Your Why is because a lot of the speakers, that was one of the things that they kept going back to. And we know that it's.
Hold on, I like to say it wasn't rehearsed. They didn't all get together and say, let's all talk about why. That was just a common thread. I don't think that was planned. It just happened that way.
And you'll see that on if you purchase the replay. But it was really refreshing to hear that over and over again, because that's something we talk about as well. And we basically, it was more confirmation that it's very important to know why you start something, why you keep going with it. And that's our topic tonight. So starting off with your why, I think it's very important to know, like, your reason in doing it. And I also think it's important to know, I think it's important that you do things for you. I think it's more personal when you do it, and it makes you more accountable when you know why you're doing what you're doing. It's very important. And that'll keep you going sometimes too. For me personally, and for those who do not know, like, this is not, I'm currently on a weight loss journey. However, I've been on many before. And for whatever reason, this time something clicked. And I think what clicked was, one, me being consistent and me being disciplined. And, a lot of us lack those things. And on your journey, you're going to have slip ups. but what's going to keep you focused on losing weight is why did you start? Because that's going to keep you going.
That is so true. I think your why has to be strong enough. It has to be big enough to where it intrinsically motivates you. It motivates you from the inside. A lot of times, extrinsic motivators, they are good starting off, but they lose their steam once you start going, and maybe you takes a little bit of the victory, or you may even taste the victory, but usually you lose your steam and you don't, keep that motivation, that drive, that hunger alive, um, because you're full, you're complacent. But when it's intrinsic motivation, usually the individual will still keep going no matter what, whether they hit their goal or whether they are still on the process of hitting their goal. It keeps them up. It'll keep you up at night. If you're not hitting the goal, it'll keep you up and turning your wheels to figure out what is it that I'm missing? What step am I taking out or I'm omitting to get to my success? So the why has to be that big.
Totally agree. You have to want it bad enough to keep doing it, because, like I stated before, this is not my very first weight loss journey. However, I started stop, but I think if I was more focused on my why, um, it would have been easier to continue with my weight loss journey. And sometimes the start stop, that's the part of your weight loss journey. So now you can see where you came from. You can see the mistakes that you made before, and you're like, man, I wasn't consistent. I wasn't disciplined enough. And if I did have a slip up, I let that one day slip up turn into a week of slip ups. Now I've gained 5 more pounds. And now I'm on a second week doing the same thing I did the first. So experience is going to be your biggest teacher when it comes to your why.
But
To
I
that
think
can be. It doesn't have to be. What you
I
want to say?
think I'm listening to your story and I'm listening always to your story. First off, I'm not picking. I'm not being facetious with this
I knew you were
statement,
going to
but
say something facetious.
first off, I just learned the word facetious because that was the word for the day on Sesame Street. F was the letter. But anyway, um, no, listening to your story, it helps me to drive the point home yet again. Though you had mistakes and setbacks, your why was intrinsically motivating, because if you was just extrinsically motivated, you would have stopped one of the two or the three or however many times that you went on this weight loss journey. But because you were intrinsically motivated, you may have, took a break, or you may have, sat down to get a breather, but you got back up and said, well, okay, let's do it again, you know, and that's big. And you need to be commended for that.
Well, thank you. And that was not facetious. But I do think that, you know,
Yep.
um, the journey is important as well. And I'm not going to say unfortunately, fortunately, when we have setbacks, when we have things that come up that's out of our control, those be our biggest teachers. And we have to be willing to accept those mistakes and just learn from them. And again, that's what's going to help you once you figure out what your why is. And that's why we talk about, Lamel and I are real big on this, like not getting down in yourself if you have a slip up, and making that 1 day 2 days and 3 days, and then we're just adding on, like, just get back on the horse, whatever that saying is, like when you.
And even if you do, you know what I'm saying, I'm just thinking about myself. Even if you do have a period of having a pity party, have your pity party, but get your ass up, because the pity party can't last forever. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying it can't, meaning it shouldn't. You shouldn't allow it to. All I'm saying is you can have your pity party. I will rather you don't. But if you have your pity party, go ahead, get it out your system and get your ass up and start back on the journey. Because honestly, by just staying stagnant, that's not doing you no good. It's not benefiting you. It's not, serving you to get to your goal. And if it's intrinsically a motivating factor, and your why is something that you can't live without accomplishing it, then no and can't and all those negative words can't live in your lifestyle. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, stand your ground,
I think that when it comes to your why, you also have to be, well, hopefully you're in a positive mind state, because we talk a lot about positivity as well. However, I know, like, my weight loss journey, it wasn't, I was positive, but the motive wasn't positive that got me started. And whatever your reason for starting, you want to make sure that you just be consistent, so everything just becomes a habit. And again, all things don't come out of positivity, but you definitely want to be in a positive environment, because negativity can't live in a positive place. So you want to make sure that you're being good to yourself, whatever that means to you, talking positive to yourself, listening to positive music, whatever that is to you. And because your mindset, we have so many things that can and will distract us from our goal. And if your why isn't strong, it's going to be so easy it's going to be easier, I should say, to slip. And that's why your why should be big. Like, sometimes you're going to have to say no to drinks. Sometimes you got to say, no, I can't go to that restaurant. You know what I mean? Because it's a trigger. And that comes from knowing yourself, knowing, having slip ups, and knowing what you can and can't do, etc. And sometimes that takes time. I think we do a huge disservice to ourselves when we put so much pressure on ourselves. There was another big thing that we had talked about on the masterclass this past Saturday is, when you first start losing weight and you're like, oh, I need to lose 100 pounds. Well, you're not going to lose 100 pounds in one day, but what we can start with is losing a pound or two. You know what I mean? And I think, sometimes when people allow themselves to get overwhelmed, because I've done it to myself, when you allow yourself to get overwhelmed and you just like, I just want this to happen now, that's usually when it don't happen. You know what I mean? You have to appreciate the journey. And that's why I always say it's very important to take pictures, so you can know where you started and just continue to progress from there.
Yeah, I think Dr. Nina when she was on, she really dropped some nuggets to help
Yes.
people
Yes.
get the right mindset, and to understand their why. Because sometimes we don't even know, or we haven't defined our why. You know what I'm saying? And we just are going through the motion haphazardly, not knowing the direction. We don't have no GPS. And I messed up that English, but who cares? Because we're not in school. But you don't have no GPS to help you, to steer you to where you're going. But the why, it needs to be like us, like you and I said, it needs to be really processed and thought out, with regards to how you are going to make this, whatever goal, desire is, become reality.
I think another huge one that I got from Dr. Nina, you bringing her up, is like truly knowing the cause of why you eat the way you eat or look at yourself the way you look at yourself. Because I'm big on loving yourself, period, no matter what size you are. Uh, love, I think self-love, it will help you distribute that to others, but it has to start with yourself. So like if you're at a weight that you don't want to be at, you definitely just want to figure out, how am I going to start this weight loss journey? What triggers do I have? Am I eating, Lamel, you talk about this, am I eating when I'm emotional? Like, do I eat when I'm sad? Most people eat when they sad, but some people eat when they happy, you know? They call, when you're in a relationship, happy weight. You gain happy weight because you're with your partner, and it's things that you have to pay attention to. You know what I mean? And I think when you become more conscious of not only what you're feeding your body, but also what you feed in your mind, that's when it becomes like one. You're more able to identify things, and you're more conscious of like what you're doing.
Yeah, I think what I took from everybody, even and once you purchase, the master class, you will see some people did speak on, nutrition and exercise, but I would say all of them talked about mindset, period. And that was the cool thing about it, because the title of the masterclass was the combat professional. And basically that was just a play on, or a title to jog people's memory or thoughts as it pertains to, you flunked, or you failed, or you missed the mark, but you now have that second win, and you are coming back to get what you claim and proclaim as yours. And I think, when we came up with this masterclass, that was the one thing that I wanted to actually, put out there. Because honestly, hell, I had to come back many times. um, and it takes a lot out of you. But you have to figure out what it is. Like I said, you can have your pity party, but you can't stay there forever. You have to keep moving, because if the why is big enough, then you won't allow yourself to stay in that place forever, because that actually defines and categorizes you as failing and losing. And I don't care anybody that's looking at this. Nobody likes to lose, whether it's a card game, whether it's tying shoes, whether it's pitching quarters, whether it's whatever. No one really likes to lose. I mean, that's not natural, though, failing can be a teacher. Nobody really likes to lose. Nobody wanted an F when they went to school. And if anybody that's watching this say, yeah, well, I was okay with having an F, then you dumb as fuck. I'm sorry. That's just me. I'm just being real. Nobody likes to be a flunk. Nobody likes bad marks. And you're lying to yourself. And Miss Otta, you've said this many, many times. Be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. No one likes to hang around losers.
I think the thing about knowing your why period is you being honest with yourself. Like, you have to take a strong look at what you're doing that's not working and what you're doing that is working, and just start off there. Like, don't make it overwhelming. Don't put too much thought in it. It doesn't have to be that difficult to start. I think we make things harder than it really needs to be, especially when it comes to weight loss. Don't eat what you know you're not supposed to eat. It's that simple. Drink some water. You know what I mean? And just start moving. And if it is more complicated than that, then again, you need to have an honest conversation with yourself and figure out why. Just figure out why would that be difficult, and make a plan to make it easier for you, so you can accomplish your goals, so you can live a healthier life, so you can do things with your children, with your grandchildren, whatever, with your husband, your wives, whatever it is. If one thing the pandemic taught me is we have no excuse on moving. You know what I mean? Lamel and I work out via Zoom. It proves that you don't need a gym to go work out. You can go outside and walk around your neighborhood. If you have stairs in your home, you can walk up and down your stairs. You can walk back and forth in your hallway. Just start something. Like, I would say nobody will want to be miserable. Like, you don't want to feel captive in your own body. So, do what you can, but I think the number one thing you can do is definitely change the way you eat. That's a huge one. That is a huge one, because you'll be able to lose weight. Exercise is great, but if you just change your diet, you'll start losing weight.
Yeah, nutrition is 85% of body transformation. If you sit and think about what I just said, 85%, that's over half. That's 15% more. No, that's, what is that? Let's see. 55. That's what?
Get it together.
I'm trying. 15, yeah, it's 15% more. It's 15% more. 85 and 50. Let's see, you got 5. And then that's 35% more. You gonna help me, or just gonna let me struggle?
I'm gonna let you struggle. Because I think the thing that the audience need to take away from is
y'all, you see that I'm quick to help her. I don't want to see her, you know what I'm saying, struggle, be bad. Here I am struggling with 85 minus 50, and I'm up here trying, and she sits there and is like, okay, okay. And I'm like, I'm drowning. And she's sitting there like, we almost lost you today, didn't we? We almost lost you today, didn't we?
Again, the thing to take away is that nutrition is important. Like, why that's just what it is. It's important. I can't stand you, man.
I mean, you make it to be that way. I mean, here I am struggling, trying to make a point, and then
You
you
made
just sit.
it. You made your point while you were struggling. I just put the cherry on top saying that what you need to take away is that nutrition is important. Nutrition is
It's very
80%. That's what you said.
I said 85% of body transformation.
Listen, it's important. That's the key
Yes,
that you need to take away. And
yeah,
you can see results without working out.
yeah. Honestly, that is so true. Because when I truly transformed my body, honestly, it was when I really started honing in on what I was eating and what foods I needed to stay away from. And I give y'all a Cliff Note version. Once I got my body to where it was, then I was able to eat some of the foods that I had abstained from. But when I went back to eating some of those foods, I didn't really like them to be, you know what I'm saying, one of my staple things to eat, but I could eat it. And I did eat it at times, but it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, what I wanted or chose to eat, like it was before I really started not buckling down and eating whole foods, nutritional foods and stuff like that. But I like eating salads anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like I know this weekend I'm looking forward to the salad that I want to make. It's gonna be epic. It really is.
Thank you for that. So
You're a
I,
hater.
I'm not. I'm happy you're gonna enjoy your salad. I probably need to make me one, honestly. Um, did you have anything else that you wanted to say?
Nah, we just had a good time, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I can say, and I want to publicly say this while we on this um episode, what I have learned and found with Masata is she really is the better half. Though she calls herself Auto G,
That's
don't
who I
she?
am.
Or
Hater.
and or what we play and we, you know what I'm saying, we're jokesters, just like what y'all just saw with what she did. She let me drown, and then she said, we almost lost you, didn't we? We almost lost you today, didn't we? But that's what we do. But I can honestly say that she has the best intentions for me, and I really truly am grateful for her and the things that she do, because Saturday, even though we ended up having a great master class, it started bad. It started bad. But Miss Otta was the one that's like, calm down. We're not gonna have this negative energy. And I didn't want to hear that. Like, I wanted to cuss everybody out, and I did cuss some people out, but
You did.
But Masata, she kept it together, and I was off of my game for a while, and she actually, like I say, purchased a master class.
It's a great.
She took the daggone wheel and drove that motherfucking car. Like she was like, Jesus, take the wheel, we going. And I'm like, just over there, just like all jacked up. And she really did her thing. And I'm very grateful for her character, her personality, her aura, and all that.
Oh, look at you being nice.
And I'm being real, you know what I'm saying? Like you really did carry us.
Well,
I mean,
it's not just me, it's a us thing. And
I know it's an us thing, but
I want to say this. You 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 was having some anxiety, and that's fine. And we all are not going to be on the same accord. But the key is it all worked out, and that's period. So, like he said, you know, like we had an amazing show with awesome speakers. And thank you for that, by the way. I wasn't trying to shove that to the side. I appreciate you saying that. But if you guys want to purchase the replay, the information will be in the link below. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And next week, our podcast will be up. Hopefully, we won't have any technical difficulties. And man, thank y'all. Be good to yourself, man.
the last thing, and then we're gonna go. What she, and I'm not trying to just keep harping on this, but when you see what she did, is what we are wanting to do with the 18 and with the tournaments and with our community. Like we refuse to lose. And if that means I'm going to play quarterback until you get yourself together, then I do it. And then once you get yourself together, get your ass back in there and play quarterback, because that ain't what I signed up for. But she did that. She actually took the lead, and she really made it seem like nothing was wrong and we didn't have any blurbs or hiccups. And that's what we are wanting with this community and this movement. We want it to be to where we all win. We're a team. Together, everyone achieves more. It's a us thing. That's all I wanted to say.
All right. Well, you guys have an awesome evening or morning or whenever you watch this video. And be good to yourself. All right.
Yep.